This is a video that I've thought about doing for really a long time, and I don't know why it took me so long to make this video, but hey, you know what? As I always say, better late than never. As much as I love talking about movies, I also love talking and playing video games with you guys. If you guys haven't noticed this particular trend, at least for the past like 10 to 15 years, there's been this trend going on where games have either been remastered or rebuilt from the ground up, aka a remake. For those of you who don't know what a remaster or a remake is, a remaster is basically when a developer goes to that first game, that original game, and then might like sharpen up the graphics, maybe sharpen up the polygons, and make it just look a little bit better for today's day and age. A remake, however, is when a game is essentially remade, like literally as it says in the title, and they remake it from the ground up. They'll give it a brand new paint job, they'll maybe update the controls, maybe play a little bit better, maybe they might update the story in some certain ways, but they'll keep the original essence of that story, again, for a brand new generation. I want to say maybe at least in the last 3 to 5 years alone, there have been a plethora of remakes and remasters. As much as that I love that these games are getting a built from the ground up remake, or they're getting a brand new paint job for new players, gamers to enjoy, I feel that there are other games that people may not know out there, or there are games that were kind of that cult and obscure game out there that were released ages ago that I guarantee that if people saw these games getting remastered or remade from the ground up, people would lose their goddamn minds. There have been plenty of gamers out there that put out their videos of games that they would love to see remastered and or remade from the ground up, and I thought, you know what, hey, let me throw my hand in the ring, and I'm going to write some games that I think deserve that treatment, that deserve the brand new coat of paint, the brand new bit of love that I think these games definitely deserve to be looked at by a brand new generation. The games that I wrote down, in particular, I wrote down 8 games that I feel like that deserve either a remaster, a remake, or maybe it could work either way. And there are some games, however, that I wrote down that I guarantee you guys will not know about, but I will say, though, if you guys know the games that I feel like you may not know, I will be really, really happy that you guys know these games. But anyways, and also before I continue on, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, hit that subscribe button if you want more videos just like this one. I'm going to say this at the end of the video, but I thought to say, you know, hey, subscribe, like, notify. But anyways, let's get down to it. This game could either work as a remaster or a remake, and that is the Godfather game. When I first played it, I think I rented it from Blockbuster. I played it on the original Xbox, and then I owned it soon afterwards because I fell in love with the game so much. The Godfather, the first movie, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie so much. And when I went to Blockbuster and rented the game for the first time, I was just thinking like, oh, okay, it's the Godfather. It's a game. I love the movie. Let's see how it goes into a game world. The Godfather game was such a much better game than I ever thought it would be. Now, sure, at first when you look at it, does it look like a GTA clone? Sure, but at the same time, I'm telling you all right now, if you played the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. The Godfather game is easily one of the best alternative to GTAs that I have ever played. Like, it is that damn good of a game. Not to mention as well, the game actually does faithfully recreate scenes from The Godfather. Like, for example, remember the horse head scene? There is actually a segment in the game where you can help them put the fucking horse head in the bed. Like, there is an actual scene from this game that was recreated from the movie. That's just one of the many scenes, and there's also the scene in the movie, in the first movie, where Al Pacino does do that hit in the diner. I'm pretty sure that that part is also in the game. Not only did they faithfully recreate the world of The Godfather, but just simply put a great game. And not to mention it as well, he did a whole thing where you controlled cities, controlled restaurants, you'd protect restaurants, and from time to time you'd go back into the restaurants if there was like a rival gang or a rival family that was trying to take control. Either a remaster or a remake. Personally, I prefer a remaster. I've been wanting a remaster of this game for the longest fucking time. Ever since the Switch was released, and ever since I got my hands on a Switch, This is a game that I've been wanting a remaster for the longest time, and that game is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which is, by the way, my top 10 favorite games of all time. This game originally came out on the GameCube, then it came out on the Wii, which is how I got to play it, and then it got a remaster on the Wii U, which I have no plans on buying a Wii U. Twilight Princess was the first Zelda game that not only that I beat, but it was the first Zelda game that I actually got invested in. Not only is the art style just absolutely gorgeous, the game's original score is beautiful, it's majestic, but the gameplay was absolutely incredible. And I actually think, do I have the, I'm gonna check for something. I may have the guide actually in my bookshelf over here. I have it. Give me one moment. This is the actual guide to Twilight Princess. I'm so happy I have this. Oh my god. What does this have in here? It's the Lost the Cloth map! I remember when I first got this game, guys. I mean, it blew me away. I cannot believe this. I think I got this maybe the week or two after I got Twilight Princess for Christmas as a Christmas present, and this was a book that I slaved over for the longest time. A remake, sure, but truth be told, this game I feel like still holds up, and I think a remaster will be more than enough for this game. And if Nintendo hears this, Nintendo, I'm talking to you right now. If you remaster Twilight Princess, you'll make, I think, tons of Zelda fans happy. Seriously, a Switch remaster would be absolutely incredible for Twilight Princess. I would love that. When it comes down to this game, or excuse me, this franchise, the remakes have been coming out, and honest to God to you guys, while I really appreciate that they remade the 7th game of the franchise, I would absolutely love a remake of Final Fantasy X, or even Final Fantasy VIII for the matter, but Final Fantasy X, this game really was the first Final Fantasy game to actually connect with me. The opening of Final Fantasy X when I first played this game blew my fucking mind. If they remade Final Fantasy X in the same way that they remade Final Fantasy VII, this game would be even better. I cannot imagine if they remade Final Fantasy X from the ground up and you saw the opening scene of this game on the PS5. This needs to fucking happen. It's serious, it is. And Blitzball on PS5, that would be just... I want this fucking game even more so now. Final Fantasy X holds up. It did get a remaster on PS4, but I personally think that a build from the ground up remake for the PS5 with the combat system that Final Fantasy VII has would do this game wonders. Coming up next is a game that when I was a kid, I was obsessed with this game from the N64 days. It's a Star Wars game. This game, I feel like, was a game that was very beloved. It was a very hard game. However, if you remade this game in just the right way, I am telling you, I think that fans would flock to this game, and that is Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. This game was fucking amazing on the N64, and now granted, I never beat it per se, but the storyline of this game, knowing you were playing as Dash Rendar and how you started on Hoth and where this game went to as you continuously played the game, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire would be a terrific third-person shooter game with a great cover system. I think that there are many gamers out there that would absolutely love a built-from-the-ground remake of Shadows of the Empire. Remember Star Wars 1313? Take what they were supposed to do with that game and put into Shadows of the Empire. What you could have here is truthfully one incredible game. This is a game that I have been wanting a remake for the longest time because the Resident Evil games have been having their resurgence of remakes for the longest time. And it's not the game I think you guys are thinking of. It's not Resident Evil 5. It's not Code Veronica. I want a remake of Resident Evil Outbreak. This was essentially the very first time that they tried to explore multiplayer in Resident Evil. The first level of Resident Evil Outbreak was a level that I replayed so many goddamn times. And I'll never forget the first time I played the opening level of Resident Evil Outbreak, and even I think it was the final level. Resident Evil Outbreak had so much replay value, and if I remember correctly, I think each scenario lasted maybe around maybe 5 45 minutes to an hour, if I remember correctly, and there was around like 4 to 5 scenarios for Resident Evil Outbreak. Outbreak, I feel like, is a cult Resident Evil game, but it's a game that a lot of people like myself have a lot of very fond memories for. I'll never forget, I played this with my buddy, one of my childhood friends, and every time I came over to his house, we would spend all night playing Resident Evil Outbreak. And File 2, by the way, it's a fun game. Also, give it online multiplayer. Outbreak could be such an incredible revisit for a lot of people like myself. The next game I want to talk about here has a very special place in my heart because when I was a kid, I played the fuck out of this game. And while it would be cool to see a remake of this game, I feel like a remaster of this game would be just perfect, and that is Way of the Samurai. I don't know if y'all played Way of the Samurai, guys, but this game was such an incredible game, and it's a game that was way ahead of its time. You played as a samurai that just wandered into a brand new village, and the first thing you had to do was to either save, ignore, or be a part of this kidnapping, whether it's saving this girl, which I did every single time, or let these gang members do their thing with her. That inciting incident just opened up this game that had such a great storyline that while this game, don't get me wrong to you guys, Way of the Samurai was a game that maybe lasted an hour to an hour and a half, but there were 6 endings, and I've been watching gameplay videos of this game for like the past couple of days, and I've been wanting to see if I still have this game just so I could simply replay and maybe review the game for you guys. The combat system was terrific, the customization was incredible, but the overall storyline was an actual storyline that, depending on the dialogue choices that you made, it would actually change the outcome of the game. I mean, the overall ending cutscene would still be the same way, but the decisions that you make would affect the families. Like, there was a clan, a family, and there was like a neutral party that involved this girl and her store. When I first ran to this game from Blockbuster, I remember my brother and I, Alex, bought it soon afterwards, and this was a game that, even he could back me on this one, this was a game that my brother and I, Alex, played constantly. I mean, we sunk so many hours of our time in our lives into this game, and I can tell you guys right now, if I were to ask him right now if he wanted this game to remaster, he would absolutely blow his fucking load over a remaster of this game. And oh my god, I would absolutely platinum this game. I just realized these last 2 games are games that when I played them as a kid and the other one when I was an adult, I fell in love with these games, and I feel like that a remake, well, actually remake for one of them, but a remaster for the last one would just, I would lose my mind over. But this next game is a game that my buddy Cody, my childhood friend, introduced me to. He actually let me borrow the game, then he let me own it, and I was addicted to this game. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard this game, but a remaster, or excuse me, a remake of Shadow Hearts would be something absolutely incredible. I mean, think about it, guys. Remake Shadow Hearts, keep the RPG elements, but have like a brawler type of system to it. Now, I don't know if that would work. If you remake the brawler system just right for Shadow Hearts, you would have one incredible thing. Now, Shadow Hearts, if you haven't played Shadow Hearts, if you don't know the game, I won't blame you, because I feel like that Shadow Hearts is one of those cult video games, but Shadow Hearts, if you ask me, this game had such a cool storyline, the opening was great, and the turn-based battle system was pretty badass. And not to mention, this game was actually pretty fucking dark. I know that Shadow Hearts is a game that not too many people are familiar, but believe me guys, look up gameplay videos of this game. It's actually a really unique video game. It's a game that I think, if remade in just the right way, could do spades. The last game I'm gonna talk about here, my buddy Shane introduced me to this game when I was probably in college, I want to say. And ever since I played this game, I have been begging, I have been itching, not a remake, but a remaster of this game. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard this game, but if you have not heard this game, I implore you to look up the game God Hand. God Hand was a game that was made by Clover Studios, and it was developed by Shinji Mikami. I don't want a remake of this game. This is a game that deserves a just special kind of remaster, or just like with Way of the Samurai, if Sony just decided to say, hey, God Hand is coming to PlayStation Premium to download, I would lose my mind. I feel like if they remade God Hand, it would lose the charm of God Hand. I feel like if you touch up the graphics, maybe a little bit of the battle system here and there, but a simple touch up of the polygons and the graphics make the game look a little bit better. This is a game that I guarantee fans of God Hand would lose their fucking mind over if this game got a remaster. God Hand is a game that is so over the top. It is so fucking silly, but there's this charm to God Hand that every time I played this game, I fell in love with this game. My buddy Shane introduced me to it a very long time ago. And I actually remember correctly, I actually streamed the game with him when I was in college. And we were up playing like, 3 to 4 hours straight. And it was still to this day one of my favorite streams I ever had with my buddy Shane. Shane, if you're watching this right now, thank you so much for introducing me to God Hand. I would sink, like with Way of the Samurai, so many hours of this game getting a platinum trophy. I mean, that platinum trophy would probably be hard as fuck. God Hand was one of those games I either really liked or you just didn't like whatsoever. But personally, for me, it's a game that ever since I played, I fell in love with this game. And it's a game that if they did do a remaster for this game, I would blow a load over this game. I would love to play a remaster, and heck, if they do, here's a promise to be to you guys right now. If they ever did a remaster for God Hand, I will stream a remaster of this game. That is going to wrap it up on some of the games I'd love to see either a remaster for or a built for the ground up remake for. Thank you all so much for watching this video. It's a video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time, but I don't know how people would probably react to this because, like I mentioned, you guys, I know you all come the majority of the time for my movie reviews, but for those of you who stuck around to watch this video, I seriously appreciate it. Please, nonetheless, please comment and let me know below what games would you like to see either remastered or remade, or finally, would you like to see a part 2 of this review, would you like to see a part 2 of this video in the future, or just multiple series of these types of videos? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'm also on Twitch, so if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the names are in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my topic of the games I like to see either remade or remastered. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review or video goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews or videos, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.